This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we are joined by one of my favorite geeky independent hip-hop artists out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the return of Mic Ripz. He's got a new album out, and he gives us another exclusive acapella verse, as well as hanging out to geek out about Avengers Endgame, Marvel's Phase 4 slate, and we review Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and explore why Quentin Tarantino is one of the greatest directors of our time. Lots of fun tangents and discussion, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, August 1st, 2019.
This is Jason Mewes, and for reasons best left between you and your therapist, you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Snooch to the nooch.
Check one. All right. This is really fans out there. Let's give it up. We talking, we nerding. We funny, disturbing. We talking, we nerding. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We talking, we nerding. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. I'm talking, we nerding. We spoiler alert.
That's right. Give it up one time, two times, three times even. What's up, listener? Thanks for joining us, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name is Rug Boy.
He's the Rug Boy.
And he's the nerd.
It's another week where we're Anthony the Jock is MIA.
Jockless.
We're jockless again. I'm flapping in the wind, Jerry. But joining us, very, very special guest. This is a dude that personifies this podcast. If this podcast was a person, it would be him. This is the dopest and geekiest independent hip-hop artist around. Welcome back. Returning Mic Ripz. How's it going?
Yeah!
We got a new clip, people. That's right. Mic Ripz, if you haven't heard, he's the guy. You have given us the most amazing clip of joy that I use over and over again. Our listeners are very familiar with your joy. Thanks for coming back, buddy.
I had to give you a new one.
Yeah, now I got a fresh, clean one.
I have a feeling we're going to pull a lot of clips of this episode.
There may be a lot of clips. Mic Ripz, thanks for coming back. It's been over a year since you've been on.
Thanks for having me.
But I love hanging out with you. Before we begin, did you guys know that it is Spider-Man Day? Did you know that?
Is it really?
It's happy.
Wow,
yeah.
That's a happy accident.
I am embarrassed that I did not know it. We're recording on August 1st.
What do you do for Spider-Man Day besides shoot ropes?
I already did that. What? No. Before?
In the shower.
In the shower. Well, I'm wearing my Spider-Man underoos and my Spider-Man hoodie.
I got a Spider-Man symbol tattooed on the side of my face, so it's Spider-Man Day every day for me.
You've committed to Spider-Man. And I mean, the listener knows I'm embarrassed because I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite. Happy Spider-Man Day. Apparently, because Amazing Fantasy came out August 10th, debut Spider-Man 1962, so the internet just decided to pick August 1st. Make it Spider-Man.
It's so random.
It is. It's very random.
I mean, it's not random that it's that day, but that they made a holiday out of it without anybody knowing.
Dudes, you guys, that's why it's called Amazing Spider-Man, because it was Amazing Fantasy, and that was like going to be the last issue, and then that's why his name is the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, man, and I mean, it was ending, and Stan was like, let me try this really weird thing I got an idea to do. Let's see if it sticks. And boy, does it stick. And man, if it wasn't for Spider-Man, he got me through my whole childhood, man.
It was a self-contained story, and then, left open.
Yeah.
And that's where we got the hero that we all love, and my favorite, Imran's favorite. I don't know about you, Mike, but it's definitely
my favorite. It is. It probably goes Spider-Man, then the Bat is next.
Yeah,
for
Batman's
me.
yeah.
That's me as well.
Anthony will put Batman 1, but yeah, Spider-Man, Batman, both have an incredible rogues gallery of villains that you can mine, So, Mic Ripz is here also because you have a new album out, dude.
I do.
Well done. Dug Out the Dirt 2.
Yes, the first time I came on actually was when I had Dug Out the Dirt 1.
No, I thought it was mint condition special edition.
No, remember the first time when I talked to you guys?
Time. Yes.
Yep.
This is your third appearance.
Exactly.
So that's right. It was Dug Out the Dirt, the first one.
You're hard at work, Mike.
Yeah, I keep. Well, this record that I put out here was it's kind of just the random stuff that didn't go on the mint condition album. Actually,
I was gonna say it's a nice kind of compliment to mint condition.
Yes, exactly. It's more just the rapping, just bars, random verses. A lot of what I call rapsploitation. That's, I've talked to you guys about this before. That's what I call my genre, my style.
I love it. Rapsploitation is now playing. It's fucking
that's
sick
the record
and catchy.
right there.
It's fucking sick and catchy. It's 11 tracks, and again, more just like mint condition, short tracks, and it's nothing but verse, man. It's nothing but you going hard, and they're not long, and I appreciate that. But let me tell you something, and for the listener, you want to talk about connecting to an artist. Mic Ripz, the minute I heard you, it was like you were made for me. In his music, listener, are amazing comic book geek references. So many references to Spider-Man, stuff I love, genre movies, TV shows, classic films, old school hip hop, everything you make a reference to. I feel like deep cuts, and I feel like you made this just for me. Like I've never connected with an artist like this. So I thank you, first of all, for being the Mic Ripz.
And I thank you, and I really appreciate that. It's good hearing somebody getting all the shit,
Oh my God.
I write random stuff, and a lot of the motherfuckers, if I go to the hood, or even even a frat party or something like that, or whatever it is, whatever ethnic group or whatever it might be, and I spit the verses, in the back of my mind is always like, damn, are they getting this?
They get these cuts, yeah.
Exactly, and I always try to throw in some stuff that's kind of a random punchline, or maybe a sports reference or something like that I know is a little more universal, but I appreciate it from you guys because I know all the stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah, it goes really deep because like there's movies that you're referencing or things that you're referencing that only somebody that would be me would know.
Yes, that's
I don't know how you're doing it.
Yes.
Like I don't know how you're getting in. Like you spit out globulus in one of your rhymes. I'm like, he's referencing a character from G.I. Joe that was like a half snake, half man with an eye patch.
On that note, real quick, G.I. Joe the movie or Transformers the movie?
G.I. Joe the movie's better.
Is it?
In a way, but Transformers is more of a class. I saw that in the theaters. Oh, I think that
shit.
And not only that, but Transformers was killing tons of people. I think only Duke died in the other one.
He doesn't even die. He goes into a coma. He gets that snake to his chest.
The body count in Transformers, it's not really your body count.
And they say shit in the Transformers movie. What's his name? Who says it? He's in the spaceship. I forget. It's one of the famous. Yes, Spike. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I remember it was in the theater, and I think my mom was there.
That's so
she
dope.
didn't care, but
and the G.I. Joe movie, they still did the thing where the plane would explode, but you'd see the guy in the parachute. Like, in the back. Like, nobody died, and it was like lasers. It wasn't like bullets. But Transformers, epic soundtrack, great 80s movie, and what's his name?
I love both, but I would say I agree with Rug Boy on that one, where I think G.I. Joe the movie is slightly better than Transformers.
It's a little bit more entertaining.
As a film, as a movie.
Wait, is that the birth of Serpentor?
No, because that was like a series where they were collecting all the dictators or ancient Genghis Khan or whatever, or pharaohs. They were taking their like blood type or their DNA and mixing it to create Serpentor.
So this one is the Cobra Law then?
Yes, exactly.
Cobra, I thought Duke died in that one. That's what I remember.
He gets like Serpentor throws a snake and it's like an arrow through Duke's chest and actually blood shoots out. And it's crazy.
Oh wow.
But then Duke goes into like a coma and at the end, what's her name? Scarlet is like, Duke's gonna be okay.
Of course he is.
He sucked the poison out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, I totally had Serpentor.
Flint sucked the poison out.
I had the action figure, and he came on his little thing that he flew.
That whole idea of Serpentor was pretty dope.
Yeah, I appreciated that. I think I've definitely speaking of rhyming crazy shit, I've definitely said something like, I got my DNA from 5 different dictators, or some line like trying to talk about that.
That's amazing. Like, that's what I do when I listen to your music, though. It's like, I'm waiting for you to, like, drop something. Because there's some references that I've heard you make before.
Yeah.
You know, because I listen to a lot of your stuff. So, like, I listen to it. I'm like, okay, so he's picking this is, like, the first time I heard you mention G.I. Joe, the movie, there's like a lot of like crazy pulls.
I mean, he's dropping comic book artists' names, like the people that wouldn't know. So
you're talking about Cthulhu.
Yeah, it's like Cthulhu.
I'm a dumb hard H.P. Lovecraft fan.
That's awesome.
I think I've read almost every story. I don't think I've read every single one, and definitely not every essay. But he's another one like Tarantino.
You read a lot.
Yes. I read.
How do you keep that up? I feel like it's so hard for me to read a book nowadays.
Really?
Well, I'm a driver by my 9-to-5 profession until any of this bullshit takes off, you know? But, what's it called? So that gives me the opportunity. I listen to a lot of books on tape still.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I also read. I think at this point for 2019, I think I'm up to 20 novels I've finished so far.
I see on your Instagram, you're always posting the covers of the books you read. I was like, this motherfucker reads a lot. It's amazing.
Sometimes it's like the job can be hard a little bit, but then working, it gives me the opportunity to listen and, finish 20 novels a year. So it's kind of like whatever, blessing and the curse, I guess. Not to sound too much like a pretentious cunt.
What I wanted to know, this album and these songs, like what is your writing process when you're putting this together?
It depends. If it's just like bars, if it's just spitting random, the shit you guys like, the rapsploitation shit, then I'll usually just put a beat on and write randomly. And when it comes to recording it, I'd rather use, my brother makes the majority of my beats, Twang One, and he makes it on an MPC 2000, the old 90s way where, like Wu-Tang, DITC, all those kind of guys, even,
Damn, I love
Rock
it.
and Smooth, all that kind of stuff. How the way they were making music, my brother will make a beat, even if I wrote it to something on, industry beat on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll try and fit it to something my brother wrote if I end up recording it and putting it out there. That's generally how I do something that's just bars, just rapping random, the reference shit that you guys like.
Yeah.
If I have a concept record that takes longer, like on Mint Condition Special Edition, there was The Shoe Salesman.
That's a great song.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I love those too.
Yeah.
I like when you make clever rhymes and you string things together, but I also like when you have a focused idea and you're telling a story.
Yeah.
And there's a narrative to it. I think that's also really great too. And I think you should do both.
Those take longer. Like I'll sit there and write maybe 4 to 8 bars, and it'll take a while. It can take like an hour sometimes for some of those, or 2 hours.
An hour? Jesus.
You're telling a story though.
Holy shit! Like that's fast. An hour is fast to me.
Oh no. Well, usually I'm on a decent schedule right now. It goes in and out when you are doing this kind of creative stuff. You get on a schedule, you get on a good grind. And right now I'm in a good moment, right where I'm at right now, but it goes in and out. There'll be something like you go on vacation or something, or something happens and then it disrupts that, the schedule you've been on, the regiment you've been on.
Yeah.
That's usually how I maintain writing and reading like that.
So what is your regimen? Like how much time do you set aside to your craft?
Usually at least an hour to 2 hours, 5 days a week.
All right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's dedicated.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym and shit. You gotta be.
And I try to work out too, because I do think I work out only like a half hour, 20 minutes, like 3 to 4 days a week. My wife, the lovely Brenda, is dumb hard into working out. So she kind of keeps me on track with that. But I will say, the more that I exercise and work out and do that, it makes it easier to sit down at a computer and sit and grind. And because
you clear your mind a little bit.
Exactly.
When you're working
and
out.
You're also forcing yourself, coming up with ideas to write stories about. That's the easy part. And writing notes, that's the easy part. Sitting down and actually writing the prose or writing the actual scripts, that's going to be something you want to turn it into something serious at some point. That takes a lot more discipline.
Well, you want to know what I think? The best art usually comes out of the love of the art.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not doing it for a particular reason. You're doing it because you're compelled to do it.
It's inside you. It needs to come out.
And you putting aside that time to work on your craft and to kind of like this is who I am. I need to be. I can't breathe unless I'm doing this.
Exactly. It's like, Edgar Allan Poe died on the streets of Baltimore drunk. And, ultimately that's my goal. But,
Shit.
But no, for real, I'm joking about that.
Not Baltimore.
But at this point, that's a whole nother thing we could get into. But what I'm saying is, it's more about the art. I'd rather be remembered for some legendary work than really, you know, everyone wants to be successful at the end of the day, but I want to make some good work. And you're never going to make good work if you don't have a discipline down, at least for me. I know some people can just turn it on like that. I can't. I have to be disciplined.
I mean,
about it.
you got to put in the work, but there are those few fuckers who are just like, it just comes naturally.
Yes.
And then there's talented people who are lazy. And sometimes I fall into that category and I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? You have, but then once you put yourself into a regiment, like working out, like doing it every day, you're putting in the work and something will happen. You know, it will. It's almost guaranteed as long as you put the work in.
Stephen King's book, Dan's Macabre, that came out a long time ago. That's about writing. It's not a novel. It's about it's like a memoir early. Oh, wow. But he talks a lot about writing. And I read that a long time ago now, like 12 years ago maybe. And he did have a long part about like talent is just a raw butter knife. So if you have it, you have to sit there in the lab every day sharpening it. Yeah. Something along those lines. And I strongly agree with that.
It's a muscle too. You got to use it or lose it. Yeah, you're going to lose it. So I wanted to give the listener like a clip of a track off this Dug Out the Dirt.
Oh boy.
I'm going to play like about a minute, half of it. I love the second track. The first one's an intro, audio B movie.
Yeah.
That was what I was just singing
to
you.
Real quick. Yeah. Do you know by any chance where that intro comes from?
No, I was going to ask you, what is the intro?
It's Iggy Pop from a movie called Hardware. That was this like...
Oh my God.
You know that movie? Dude, it's derivative. It's like a spinoff of Judge Dredd, actually.
Really?
From
I think I've seen this movie. Is Jamie Lee Curtis in this?
No, it's got this guy, I think his name is Dylan McDermott. Basically, it's the scorched earth is out there, like Judge Dredd, right? And they don't say Mega City 1, or well, that was the name of the shit in Judge Dredd, right?
Yes, that's Mega City 1.
Exactly. So this guy goes out he's a collector, he's a scavenger. He goes out into the desert and finds this like robot skeleton thing and brings it back to his house because his girl is a sculpturer. I don't know how you say that.
Artist.
What, yes. Sculptor. Yeah, sculptor. That's it. So he brings this like robot alien skeleton to their apartment for her to build a sculpture out of, but then it ends up, of course, going crazy. And
I've seen this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But Iggy Pop is the radio show host in the film, and Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He's in it too. He's a cab driver.
Oh,
and at one point, I think the guy, Dylan McDermott, who's the star, gets in Lemmy's cab, and Lemmy turns on the Iggy radio station.
And he hears this. Here's the intro. Let's go. Now we set it up.
This is Angry Bob, the man with the industrial dick, coming at you loud and clear on WAR Radio. Rise and shine, folks. It's a beautiful day. Just look at that sky. It's a work of art. Ha, nature never knew colors like that. And a friendly reminder, when you look at it, be sure to wear your shades. The radiation count's way up and the heat wave ain't expected to let up either. Weather control tell us it'll probably hit 110 downtown before nightfall. As for the good news, there is no fucking good news. So let's rock with one of our golden oldies.
That's a great intro. And this album you have tons of clips for movies. Hardware 1990 came out. Yeah. Iggy Pop, Dylan McDermott, Lemmy, Carl McCoy. That is a deep cut. And I love you use a lot of movie track stuff that I don't even know, some that I'm familiar with.
This beat we sampled from Fred Williamson, Black Cobra 2.
Oh, shit. That's another deep cut.
It's weird. It's not even a fucking blaxploitation movie. It's like a giallo Italian crime movie.
Wow. For audio B movie, what's the concept behind audio B movie?
Just rhyming. This would be introducing rapsploitation to the world, the genre.
All right, dude, I love it. Here, I'm going to play this up until the first chorus rapsploitation part.
Let's go.
I love this beat. I love this.
That ain't never been my style, brother.
I'm a python, your icon, a boy's a time bomb. Wrote this whole verse on a wall with crime line. Mine's gone, a old motherfucker, get off my lawn. Red Dawn, fighter pilot Maverick, headstrong. Boulevards and nice cars, flashy and crisp. Fuck that, you could catch me in an alien ship.
You talk a lot of shit, but you ain't sicker than Rips. I'll cut off my dick and mail it to your chick.
Yeah.
Mike's monstrous, display the most dominance. I make you wanna chase a Henny shot with hollow tips. Fallen pharaoh in the age of apocalypse. Ain't Stephanopoulos, so please save the politics. Strange, my brain's deranged and preposterous. Went for Gotham after I raided Metropolis. You wanna quit? Watch me soccer kick your mama's tits. Mike Ripz, I'm a real life comic strip. Ghoulies, Goonies, Cuss Black Cobra, Sergio Leone, Conan, Red Sonja, Bubba Hotep, Evil Dead, Bram Stoker's. I'll watch a whole flick till the credits is over. Rapsploitation is now playing. Rapsploitation is now playing. Rapsploitation is now playing. Rapsploitation is now playing.
Yeah. Dude, you just name dropped so much geek shit in that 10 seconds.
And that's only in the first minute.
That's in the first minute. That's what I'm telling you, listener. Do not get this dug out the dirt. I love mint condition.
If you think that, peep this. Flow encrypted, I'm twisted as Joe Fix-It. Gray flesh, Sid Vicious, I'm a misfit. Arrest resisted, conflict with the piglets. Day of the Triffids, it's not what you predicted. Lit the blunt, 2 puffs, and then I clipped it. We kicked it, poured 2 drinks and clicked it. As we bear witness to some sick shit, a human sacrifice, ritualistic. Unload a cartridge, Viggo Lawson, I go the hardest. Double-fisted marksman, twin pit bulls barking. Vomit and blood splatter, splashing the carpet. Execute a target with an army of Martians. Cloak, druid, flow, mucus, spark diffuses. Robotic steam punk, car pumps, hydraulic fluid. Promo shooting, new mutant, I'm subhuman. My pen starts moving, it's doing nuclear fusion. Better fall back before you get your core cracked. I'm on the warpath, left a burning bag of shit on your doormat. Raw rap, stay out of my way if we cross paths. Wielding spike bats, riding on back of a warjack. Fast hands, Manny Pac-Man, Mr. Madman, the max out the trash can. I crash in a black van. Pissing on the charts of a top 40 pop band. Under the dark sun, I'm running on hot sand. With the force of a dwarf with a battle axe, heavily strapped, Frank Castle blasting back, rat-tat-tat, sniper shots tearing through your MAGA hat, acrobat off the turnbuckle like I'm Cactus Jack. You're feeling trapped, I'm Michael Myers in a plastic mask, got the face of a fake William Shatner plastic cast, the aftermath, the gamma rays from the afterblast, it's all peace like the 5%ers practice math.
Yeah! You got Mic Ripz.
I like how you totally referenced that William Shatner's face is Mike Myers.
I was praying one of you got that.
Yeah.
There's so much great references in there.
I messed it up a little bit.
That's all right. Imran will sit there and tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, tweak it, brother. By the way, I need that one, too.
That was amazing. I will cut it and send it to you. Is that going to show up on the next album, maybe?
No, that's for you guys. That's
exclusive. Nice. Yes, exclusive. Wow. Mic Ripz. Acapella. See, listener?
Mic Ripz exclusive.
Mic Ripz is amazing.
I attempt to never repeat shit. It might happen here and there, but I don't like to.
Dude, that's amazing.
That's tough to do.
That's amazing.
When you're rhyming at such a high volume, it's hard not to repeat
Just
yourself.
Amazing use of words and stream of consciousness flow. I love shit like that. I totally dig it. Listener, if you want to hang out with Mic Ripz, Mike, you're in our Facebook group, aren't you? Jock and Nerd Nation?
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, I posted that heel turn short story in there.
Oh, that's
a couple months back.
That's right. You could read a short story. You could also.
Was that the guy without the dick?
Oh, you read that?
Yeah. It was a long time ago, but I think I remember it. Like,
no.
For me to
heel turn was the wrestling shit. Was the guy who was the washed up wrestler who took the steroids. Spoiler alert. He took the steroids and then, he went down a dark path.
Oh, I hadn't read that yet.
Yeah, I gotta dig that up.
I read something that you wrote about a guy with no dick.
Yes. It's a hitman that gets his dick cut off.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, actually.
You have that line in the song. I'll cut off my dick and mail it to your
bitch.
I fucking love it. The other line I love is you can't tell that I cross-dress because I rock a burqa. Fucking fantastic. So clever.
Well,
so good.
I listened to this record, and I noticed that you're kind of politically in different camps. You have a lot of anti-Trump stuff, but then you also comment on snowflakes and stuff like that.
I'm naturally, I've been for years, and my dad and my brother, they're conservatives. This dude that I used to be really close with, who was I wouldn't say my mentor, but is a guy I worked with for years, he was a hardcore, I would say, socialist. And, I always thought I was on the left, and I would say I would be like center left maybe, but I don't know. Nowadays, that
I think
doesn't mean
classify.
Exactly.
And
I think
classifying
trying to
yourself is
classify
hard.
it is pointless.
Yeah, don't put yourself in a box because there's you can't put yourself in a box.
But I'm just trying to point out that you're not a person that's blind to what's the stupidity on both sides of what's going on in the world.
Yeah,
like, I think that some people
I follow the politics, but I don't think there's any way out of it. That's why I prefer anarchy to anything.
Yeah, like the Joker. Whoa.
Whoops, sorry.
What was that?
Ignore that. I hit a weird button. But you know what? You got to call out the bullshit on both sides. That's all it comes down to. But I want to get back to the Jock and Nerd Nation because I got to tell the listener, join our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. It's closed. It's exclusive. It's just for you. It's a lot of fun. You can chop it up in there with Mic Ripz, with all of us. I got to shout out. We have a big birthday. One of the most engaging members of the nation, longtime listener, Patreon supporter, posts all the time. The nation wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for this guy. Happy birthday, Jess Rivera.
Talking nerd.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday wishes.
Happy birthday.
To commemorate this, Mic Ripz, I'm going to play you a clip from a previous show, episode 198. Yes, it is because I used to welcome people when they joined the group, right? Every week. And then one week, like fucking 50 people join. And I'm like, well, I can't do this shit anymore. It's too many names. But just listen to Ruggs. Do you remember this when we first introduced Jess? When he said welcome?
I don't remember anything.
Okay, here it is. He doesn't. His mind is made of cotton and felt.
Yeah, I don't retain it.
Yeah, true.
Here's me welcoming Jess Rivera to the Jock and Nerd Nation. Got to give a shout out. New member this week, Jess Rivera. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining the Facebook group. She wrote, after I wrote the welcome post, she wrote, thanks for the ad. Have been binging through the podcast ever since finding it. Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
What?
Now, are you sure this is a chick?
I think it's another girl that listens. And there's another girl confirmed later on in the show. You'll see Jess Rivera, I believe, is a female. Yeah.
Our first female listener.
Yeah.
No.
Update, Jess Rivera, still not a girl. Jess Rivera is not a girl, but I thought he was initially.
Stop gendering people, Imran.
I'm sorry.
This is going great.
I saw, whatever. But now we know, and we'll always have that, Jess Rivera. Happy birthday.
There you go.
That's why you can join the nation, so I can mix up your gender. Isn't that fun? Mic Ripz, let's get to your geeky side, bro.
Let's go.
I want to talk about a couple of things. Avengers Endgame just released on digital download.
Oh, it did? Oh,
yep.
Speaking of which, let me tell you a personal story.
All right.
My wife loves the whole MCU hard, and she's been begging for fucking months for Endgame to come out. So it's out now?
It came out yesterday. I bought it. I actually watched it again last night. Oh, shit. Because I couldn't wait to watch it again. It will be on Blu-ray in a few days. But
is it on Netflix?
It's no, not on Netflix. It's not going to be on Netflix. It's going to go to Disney Plus once that launches.
Oh shit!
So right now, the only way you're going to be able to get it is you got to buy it off like Amazon or Comcast or Vudu or iTunes or get the Blu-ray. But there's like commentary. So when I bought this, it was $20 on Amazon. The file, the time of this thing, it's 7 hours. Oh shit! The whole
because of the special stuff.
So the movie ends and there's still 5 hours of shit. There was a Stan Lee featurette. It was really good. They get into each of the characters. They get into the design, the art director, Tony Stark starting the whole thing as Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I'm digging it so far. And there's a commentary. And and there's a lot of things that have been revealed. First of all, let me ask you, what'd you think of Endgame?
I really enjoyed it, to be honest with you, and I was skeptical. We did this a year ago. We didn't talk about Infinity War.
No,
right?
you came on in April of 2018.
So it was about to come out.
It was
and I think I said on there, and I was getting half wasted on there as I am now, but I'm a little more coherent.
That's how you got to do it.
I can't just smoke in this room like I used to.
No.
But what's it called? I think I said on that podcast, I was like, I'm so skeptical about them nailing this because it's fucking so many actors, so much shit built up. It's going to crash and burn.
Nobody knew what to expect at the time. Yes, I remember this.
I loved Infinity War and I loved Endgame even more. I saw it like the Saturday it came out. It comes out Thursday night or whatever, Wednesday night at this point, who knows? But I saw it the Saturday morning and I really liked it. And spoiler alert, Tony dying. I cried at least 5 times in the theater.
Dude, it is.
Wow.
It's when
he's like, Mr. Stark.
Yeah. Yes. And Peter's like oh, you're going to be okay. And then Pepper just says the perfect thing. She's like, we're going to be okay. You can rest now, Tony. That's all she says. And it's fucking perfect. They released a deleted scene. I don't know if you guys caught this.
I heard about it.
Yeah, it is. They all take a knee. So right after that scene, the camera pulls back and one by one, everyone just gets down on one knee.
I just wish
it's
that
super touching.
After this would be great is as they pan across all of the heroes taking a knee, you just slowly pan on Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, he's just there.
Oh, yeah. Somebody needs to fucking Photoshop that in right now.
That's not a meme yet?
Yes, Colin
Someone
Kaepernick
should have
taking a knee there.
Wakanda forever!
Yes. And then the fucking captain of the soccer team's there taking a knee also.
Yeah.
That girl, everyone. But another interesting thing is this is the scene where you see Gamora just fucking exit stage right. You see her and she just walks off because I remember going, what the fuck happened to Gamora? They never showed her actually leaving. This is the clip. But also right after this. But it's unnecessary because right after this is the funeral scene. So like you're gonna do this, you're gonna do the funeral. The movie's fucking
I think that the knee thing was too cheesy.
I mean, I could see you saying it's a little corny, but it's.
I think that the funeral's a much better way to go.
Well, the funeral definitely, I think, does have the impact you want, at the end because you see everyone.
Yeah,
just.
I mean, I liked everything up until the knee. I liked everybody just shuddering and not being in disbelief.
Yeah, because it would have been nice to see some of the other characters' reactions.
Wait, question. So did you guys go back and see it in the theater or you just watched it online or how did you see that extra scene?
They released it online. It's actually it's in the show notes right there, Mic Ripz. If you click.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah. It's
I'll give you a second to take a look at it. I'll grab another beer.
Talking nerd.
That was so sanctimonious.
Hey, for the listener time jump, Ruggs and I both got beers while Mic Ripz watched the Tony take a knee scene. So you know what that means? We both got beers. Things are going to get weird.
Yeah. Well, I like to drink with Mic Ripz. I can't do it in real life because I can't really keep up with them because I'm in reality, I don't think. But I can drink with them on the show.
Well, I mean, again, you're an inanimate object, technically, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Technically and in reality. So, Mic Ripz, what'd you think of that, the take a knee scene?
It's just, I don't know. I liked it without it. They were right to cut it. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's a little much.
It's way too much. It's sanctimonious. It's pretentious. It's annoying. The way they ended it was good.
Yeah. The way it was done.
I think everything up until the knee is okay. They could have maybe eked that out, but then anything after that was way.
The hilarious thing to think about for me is that these actors sat there and did that and thought it was a good idea at the time.
Everyone did it all seriously and stuff too.
Exactly.
That is kind of interesting. The commentary reveals some other interesting things. Like I did not know. You know how Tony Stark is all emaciated and gaunt and skinny in the beginning.
Downey did that naturally?
No, that's all VFX. I did not know. I didn't know. It looks really good.
Come on, Imran.
It looked so real. I was watching it again. I was like, holy shit.
He's like when he's seen Chris Evans small and
he's really
he's like he lost that much weight.
How did they get that little body and then turn it into the big body?
Oh, please, Imran.
No, I mean, it looks so realistic that I thought, Stark helped them a little bit. But, man, I believe it. So there's a lot of I'm excited to go back and listen to the commentary.
They can make Samuel L. Jackson look like he's 30 years old, and they can do anything.
That's a good point. I'm an idiot.
Oh, speaking of which, this is kind of off track, but you guys seen the trailer for Scorsese's next movie, The Irishman?
Dude,
I did not see it.
They made De Niro look like he's 30 or something.
Dude, this is amazing. Ruggs, I have the link here. I'll put it in the show notes. The Irishman teaser trailer, The Irishman. This is amazing because this is Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci for fucking Netflix.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's going to be in the theater, too, apparently.
Oh, it will. Oh, that's going to be interesting because
you put something in the show notes?
Yes, the trailer. Click on the link, the trailer for The Irishman. Steven Spielberg is upset that these Netflix movies can be eligible for Oscars. But
I watched Roma. I wasn't too into it.
No. Dude, the de-aged De Niro in this trailer, he looks like he does from fucking Goodfellas.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they can do this.
He looks like Jimmy Conway.
He absolutely does. It's about, I guess, Jimmy Hoffa and the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa, which it looks amazing. I mean,
Yo, there was a movie, I don't know if it's the same dude. There was a movie with Ray Stevenson called The Irishman. I don't know if it's the same thing it's the same story as what we're about to watch with De Niro and them.
That's interesting if there's already another movie called The Irishman.
Or Killed the Irishman, it might be called. And Ray Stevenson plays the guy.
The Punisher?
No, yeah, the Punisher, the guy, Ray Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yes, Rome.
I like that Punisher Warzone.
Yeah.
So over the
What's
top.
his name? McNulty is Jigsaw.
Yeah, he's way over the top, but really,
Yeah.
Aside from him like spinning on the fucking chandelier in the beginning,
Yeah.
that is pretty good fucking violent Punisher action.
Oh, wait, by the way, did you guys watch Punisher season 2 or no?
Yes.
I didn't watch that. Like, is it good or no?
I enjoyed
It's
it.
pretty good.
Okay.
It's not like amazing. It's not going to knock your socks off. But
I liked season
it's definitely
1 a
worth
lot.
a watch. Yeah.
Bernthal is great in this
Yeah,
role.
he's great.
And
Season 2 of Daredevil was knock your socks off, or at least close.
what do you think of season 3 of Daredevil? I thought that was one of my
I
favorites.
don't know if I watched that. I don't
Dude,
know
you
if
got to
I've
watch
seen
season 3 because it ties into the first season.
It's pretty good. It's got Bullseye in it.
It's got Bullseye and Kingpin.
Oh, that's right. And but who, like, they said they were going to make a Bullseye series, but is that happening still?
No, I don't
No.
remember
Because
hearing
now
anything about that.
Disney owns the whole thing.
Yeah, all that stuff for Netflix that they developed is all gone and getting rebooted.
There is a rumor that they may, that Daredevil definitely will see probably sometime because he's way too great a character to them to just throw away.
Yeah.
We'll probably see them in the MCU. Speaking of Disney, Mic Ripz, Marvel
Yeah.
Phase 4, San
Oh,
Diego
boy.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
5 movies, 5 TV shows over the next 2 years.
Okay, so for sure I know that.
What are you excited for?
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, where apparently they're going to deal with the government not wanting Sam Wilson to be Captain America.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yes.
That could be good.
That
It
could
depends. If they're very ham-fisted with the writing, I'm gonna be done. I'm not gonna watch it.
It needs good action also as well.
This whole thing kind of complicates it too, because now you have to watch these shows on
Yes.
top of the movies.
So if your wife, you said, is a huge Marvel fan, you're
Yes.
obviously MCU fan. You're going to be getting Disney Plus, right? You have to now.
I assume I'm going to bring it up right now.
Right.
You guys have brought it to my attention now. It's like, this is going to be, I'm going to have to sit her down and be like, baby, I know I'm already paying for like ESPN Plus, The Zone. No, I'm kidding.
Do you get Hulu? Because they may
No.
be able to. Oh, because they're going to bundle
Hulu
it.
lets you have as many people watching it as possible. I know that.
Yeah, you can make profiles, but I believe
Yeah.
they're going to offer Disney Plus as an add-on to Hulu, kind of
No
like
way.
you can add HBO to Hulu and other things. So,
Okay.
out of these, what are you most excited for?
The Shang-Chi.
Yeah?
Yes, because I love that comic book.
Yeah, Simu Liu. They got a Chinese actor. There's going to be a
Yeah.
straight-up kung fu martial arts
Yes.
movie. You got
that's the one I'm definitely the most excited for.
and the real Mandarin also involved.
Yes, I saw that he's going to be in there. He's the villain in there. Or maybe not the villain. I don't know.
No, he's definitely going to be one of the major presences of
Yeah.
evil. Or
It's called Legend of the
that
Ten
show.
Rings.
What's his name? Chiwetel Ejiofor was Baron Mordo
Right.
in the, what's it called?
Yeah,
Doctor Strange
Doctor
movie.
Strange.
And then it's like, well, he was the villain, but I guess they build it up. I'm still operating on the like 70s, 80s, 90s version of Marvel. I know it's completely, different now.
How do you feel about that?
I like the 70s, 80s, and 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I don't not like what they're doing in modern comic books, but every now and then I don't have a pull list. I'm not one of those guys. A lot of times I'll buy trade paperbacks and read those. I'm sure I brought this up on here before, but every time I go to buy some trades, I'll go and buy a bunch of new comic books, just the new stuff from the week and see it. I haven't been impressed in many, many years.
Yeah.
Maybe some indies. Well, what Marvel and DC do, DC's better than Marvel in the printed comic book form,
Okay, yeah.
in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think of that.
I mean, I think with their rebirth, they've been selling a little bit more with, they're doing like Batman, Batman Who Laughs, Batman Last Night, Scott Snyder writing all that stuff. I think it's
Yes,
selling books.
he's good. Scott Snyder's good.
I think that DC is horrible with continuity, and they're always
Yes.
constantly rebooting stuff.
Yes,
But
I agree with that.
But I think it's always in an effort to get back to like making the heroes relevant.
Okay.
And Marvel is more like doing it to keep up with the times.
That's a really interesting take.
That's a good
Because
point.
I think Marvel like wants to maximize the fan base, especially Disney wants to maximize the fan base, and DC's struggling to even make their characters stand out among Marvel now. So they're like, well, how do we do that? Well, we can't just fucking change. They tried fucking changing everything, and then they ended up changing it
Then
back.
they had to change it back with Rebirth. Yes.
I think that they learned something. They learned, like, okay, there is something to these characters, and we have to, like, keep our fans, the ones that we have, from, like, going away. Because the people who are DC fans are DC forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. They won't budge on if Marvel's better. They'll never say or admit that.
No, you're not going to convert anyone from DC.
Which, by the way, I don't necessarily think Marvel is better. I think they both have their moments in different situations.
I think that it's a per comic basis. I think that with the flagship characters, I think Marvel has guided them into territories that people can relate to more.
Okay.
And DC they're struggling to do that sometimes. But they're telling more comic booky stories. So you understand what I'm saying? So, like, basically DC is still playing in that realm of the 1980s, 1970s comic book.
Good. That's what I prefer.
All right.
That's probably why I said I like them more now.
Marvel is more relevant. Younger people are gravitating towards it, but it's not a better product.
It's funny because you endlessly hear people who don't know anything about anything from back in the day or just generally, they're like, oh, Marvel's better than DC. It's like, why are you saying that? You don't even know. I remember back in the 80s, 90s, whatever. I'm dating myself, of course. But it's like when someone said that, they actually knew what they were talking about. Now random people say that and it makes no sense.
Well, and they just Wikipedia the shit and they think they know everything instead of actually reading it.
Well, what about the that era is so great for you that you keep kind of returning to it? Do you think it's just it's the shit that I grew up on and it's just forever ingrained in you, or is it like that it's truly the best stuff?
I think it's nostalgic to some extent, but I'll specifically touch on like the late 80s and early 90s because that's where I got into it.
Yeah, me too.
And again, we're going Frank Miller, Dark Knight just came out, so that's a big deal. Carnage came out in 92, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So, and then that's coming off Venom and Secret Wars and all that stuff.
Image Comics and Spawn come off of that.
Exactly. Then the indie movement. So, and then Hellboy's right there a few years later. So, I think that it has a lot to do with the time and the place. And the thing is, the indies weren't trying to be this pretentious garbage. They were making anti-hero comic books. Yeah. Okay. Especially the Image and Dark Horse or whatever. But even back to the stuff, DC, Vertigo was coming out in the late 80s, Watchmen, all that stuff. And Dark Knight Rises and the Dark Knight stuff, the
Dark Knight Returns,
Frank Miller stuff, and also the Daredevil stuff that was coming out at the time too, where Buscema drew it.
Yeah.
All that was a little more harder, a little more real. And it's funny because we're about to talk about Tarantino. I do feel like it was an artistic explosion in the late 80s, early 90s, where you have all those indie movies like Reservoir Dogs, El Mariachi, Clerks.
Yep.
It all kind of culminated at once. And I think the late 80s built up to that. You had Watchmen, which is groundbreaking. You had Swamp Thing. And that might have been a little bit earlier. Sandman, of course. And Neil. Did you guys watch his new show, by the way?
Good Omens. I did watch all 6 episodes on Amazon. It's not bad, and it made me want a Sandman TV show. And guess what?
Netflix is like, Netflix.
Oh shit! I was like, fuck yeah, because
what he said. What specifically makes me like that era so much? I think people were a little more freewheeling. I think that's the Generation X, as they say, version of writing comics and stuff like that. So,
well, I think that in general, I think that the 90s and the late 80s was all about catharsis.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, so interesting.
You put out all of the worst things. You're exercising those demons. Now, we're so like, I guess, puritanical that we're like holding everything back.
It's pearl clutching. And it's so safe.
So Tarantino was all of a sudden was using every single horrible thing and taboo thing in his movies and talking about all kinds of crazy sick shit.
Putting it in your face.
Yep. The gimp, all of these things.
Fun.
Like, and all the movies that were around that contemporary time were pushing that envelope and letting people kind of fantasize about things. People were sexualized. You went to the movies because you were like so pent up in your real life that you wanted someplace to just fucking fantasize.
Yes.
Now, like, everybody's so worried about accuracy and who's offended and stuff like that. Like, the fantasy is gone. Like,
the media industrial complex has been built up for 30 years now.
We're so afraid about getting sued or someone being canceled that there is no room for fantasy anymore, even in any kind of way.
I'll tell you who's not afraid still is fucking Quentin Tarantino, which is a good segue because, listener, we're going to review Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Before we do that, we're going to take a quick break right here.
Cool.
I'm going to play some promos, and we'll be right back to geek out about Tarantino right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, hooligans, this is Michael.
This is Michelle.
This is Jeremy.
From Who the What Now?
The show about
strange stories from the internet. And Bigfoot came over and beat his ass. Oh my God. He knocked him around a little bit, and he just kind of went limp, and Bigfoot left.
Pop culture.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Jean-Claude Van Damme was supposed to be the alien in Predator, and did a jump splits and ended up with his batch right in the dude's face.
That's his
do I get the part?
In our crazy lives. I'm there's a cat on my back, and then all of a sudden I feel something. I feel a furry paw go down my ass crack. Just slide right down my ass crack. I was like, what are you doing? You can catch us on all your favorite podcast applications.
Spotify.
iTunes.
Libsyn.
iHeartRadio.
Stitcher.
Your mamas. And wherever else they have quality podcasts.
So don't miss out on the next Who the What Now?
If you're looking for a sports hosting show that gives you the flavor.
Tom Brady thrown for over 60,000 yards, the most playoff victories, the most Super Bowls, the most Super Bowl MVPs. He is not the greatest of all time.
That brings the energy. Shaq quote, the earth is flat, close quote. The earth is round. That isn't about this or that. It ain't this or that.
Charles Barkley, 1994. You stole 2 home games in the Western Conference semifinals against the Rockets. Your team blows it in 7. 1 year later, up 3-1. 2 games at home, and you blow that too.
Then you've come to the right place.
I am that man, your man, the illustrious tour guide Cole Johnson.
Cole Sports. On Cole Sports with the Z.com.
Listener, if you enjoy this show and you want more show, join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. It's like Jock and Nerd Plus or Jock and Nerd Max. You get a bunch of stuff. You can support the show, and everyone gets a bonus RSS feed, a bonus podcast just for our Patreon supporters, where you get early access to this show, the spin-off show, and bonus audio like movie reviews, instant reactions. There's a sports show called Jock Talk with Anthony. New this week on the Patreon, you have my instant reaction to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, my instant reaction to season 1 of The Boys on Amazon, all 8 episodes, highly recommended. I will say that right now. Check out The Boys. It's very good. It's violent. It's like Watchmen, but even more current and topical. I want to review the show, so Ruggs.
I'm almost finished.
All right, I got to fucking scam Anthony into watching this. And there's some post-show with Delhauer after our What the Fuck Happened to Amazing
post-show means that the
Spider-Man.
shit that's not in the regular show, like stuff that we talk about in between sometimes. Sometimes we will talk after the show or bullshit, so you get to hear that.
There's going to be bonus content from this episode.
Oh, there's probably another show from this.
Right, because we got Mic Ripz here. And, holy shit, I'm super excited right now.
Geek boner.
If you could just feel my nipples, they could cut glass. Why?
I'd love to.
Yes, you're excited. Feel these nipples.
Oh, shit.
Because we're going to do an informal review of Quentin Tarantino's latest movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But I'm psyched because I'm clearly here with two dudes. All 3 of us appreciate Quentin Tarantino, and it's been a long time since we've actually got to talk about a Tarantino movie. And honestly, I think this is the first Tarantino movie I've seen in the theaters since fucking Pulp Fiction 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yes, I don't think I've just not. I would just wait until they came out, and I didn't bother. I've been busy.
You don't support at the box office the only guy that's making movies that's
that
like
are original, that are
on his own beat of his own drum.
His own vision. The guy is not safe. He will do whatever the fuck he wants. This movie right now is at 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Average rating 7.75 out of 10. It was made for about $90 million. It's only open in the U.S. I don't think it's open internationally. Opening weekend, it makes $41 million. This is the biggest opening for Quentin Tarantino.
That's weird to me in itself.
Yeah, it's
90 million though. I didn't think I thought it was maybe 60 million.
Yeah, I would have thought Django opened stronger.
Inglourious Bastards, I think, is the one it beat. That was his highest opening.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I think the reason this thing had this big opening push, I mean, look who's in it. First of all, you got Tarantino,
star power,
Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie, Al Pacino, and Quentin Tarantino telling his snapshot of Hollywood in the 60s based around the Sharon Tate Manson murders.
Be honest. What other director is even getting credit like that besides Scorsese? It's those two now.
There's no one.
Maybe Spike Lee.
There's maybe a few, but like the ones that are at the tip of everyone's tongue are going to be, those are the first two you're going to say right off the bat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty, but like those are the guys that you think about right away that are still in the game. I mean, it's sad because this is supposed to be like one of his last movies. He's maybe like, I don't know if he's going to keep making them or not.
On that note, I have to bring this up when you say that because this is his 9th film. There's one more. He's going to do one more at least.
Yeah.
He might do more than that, but one of the movies he's going to do, he signed up to do, is an R-rated Star Trek movie.
Yes.
If that ever happens.
Dude, can you imagine Star Trek like Pulp Fiction in space?
Oh, shit.
Holy shit.
I'd be very excited for it, but I don't want that to be his last movie.
You need Sam Jackson going, say Klingon again.
Like, when I saw Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I want to see the movie where Vernita Green's daughter goes to fucking kill her.
He still has Kill Bill 3. And, technically, I guess he counts Kill Bill as one movie because this is his 10th directed movie if you count Kill Bill 1 and 2. But, it's one volume. So other cast members, we got Dakota Fanning, Bruce Dern, Mike Moe, the late Luke Perry, Nicholas Hammond.
Oh, shit.
Now, this is a deep cut, Mic Ripz.
Okay.
Where was he?
He was he was the old director of the movie, of the show with the white hair. I think that was Nicholas Hammond.
Psychopath. I love that guy.
You know who Nicholas Hammond is, right?
But I don't know. No, I don't.
He's Spider-Man.
Nicholas Hammond played Spider-Man in the 70s show.
Wait, the Japanese one?
No, the U.S. shitty 70s.
The one
the really
70s.
Weird one.
Yes. The one where...
I did not know that. He was the guy with the white hair.
I totally didn't know that
Wanamaker. Like, this is the one where, like, the Spider-Man show in the 70s for TV, literally, he's shooting ropes. Like, when he shoots his web, it's a big, thick, white
that one is so bad.
It's really bad.
You ever seen the Captain America movie from the...
Yeah, I've seen them all, man.
Oh, yeah. This Fantastic
really
Four bootleg.
Yeah, that's really bad, too.
The thing.
Ooh.
But, dude, let me tell you, when I was a kid, this is the only live-action Spider-Man we had outside of Electric Company where he didn't talk or take his mask off.
I posted thing, the voting thing. Did you guys see that? I posted it on IG. It was Spider-Man, a live-action thing of him telling you to vote. And it was...
Wow.
It must have been like the Clinton versus Bush HW. It must have been.
Oh, wow.
When
I
that
did
came
not
out.
see that. Anyways, Mic Ripz, opening thoughts. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What did you think?
Yeah, what's your take on this movie? Like, what do you think Quentin Tarantino was up to in this film?
First of all, spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you
for
fucks.
sure.
Spoiler time.
Okay. I'm going to tell you everything I think about it real quick. When I first saw Django, I was like, this is Quentin's best movie since Reservoir Dogs and, what's it called? Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And as I always address Quentin Tarantino, I talk about his scripts because True Romance is his movie, even though Tony Scott directed it.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And what's it called? From Dusk Till Dawn is his movie too, even though
it's Robert Rodriguez.
Exactly. Yeah. That Dusk Till Dawn is the first script Tarantino ever sold, by the way.
Oh wow.
So I like to operate on those thoughts. And with that said, as of right now, I think Once Upon a Time in Mexico, it's either his third or fourth best.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, in Hollywood, you mean? Yeah.
Directing wise, it's his third or fourth best, definitely. Script wise, it's in the top 5, in my opinion.
Oh, wow.
Now, I do need to watch it again.
Yeah.
I was super gassed in the theater, and the thing's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
It's a long-ass movie, yes.
For me, shit like this flies by. And again, I was with the lovely Brenda, my lovely wife, in the theater. She was not feeling it for a lot of it.
Jeez, she thought it dragged a little. I mean, they're just hanging out most of the movie.
Yes, and then as it went on and it progressed, by the end, she was feeling it. She loved it.
Yeah, because you need that time. This is clearly a character-driven movie. It's great to see Tarantino kind of mature and change as a director, movie to movie.
Yeah.
You know, he is interested in you just getting to hanging out with these characters, and then it climaxes with amazing violence at the end. But the movie really doesn't have a plot. It's just stuff happens.
I agree. My brother said the same thing, and I agree with that. I would say about, as far as the characters and hanging out with them, Cliff Booth, Brad Pitt's character. I want to see.
I can watch a whole other movie.
Exactly.
I think he steals the show.
Tarantino's always said he's done after 10 or maybe 12.
Yeah.
I've heard him say he wants to do the Star Trek movie. I've heard him say he has scripts for a horror movie and a 1930s gangster movie.
Those are 2 genres he hasn't done yet. Yeah.
I would like to see him do both those, but whatever. Yeah. He also said there's a Vega Brothers movie somewhere in the mix of the early films.
Vincent Vega.
Vincent Vega, exactly. And Vic Vega is
from
Mr. Blonde.
Oh, that's right. And then there's in True Romance, there's also some names that tie in to
in
the
True
Tarantino
Romance.
verse.
Right. In True Romance, Clarence Worley, Christian Slater.
Worley? Yeah.
He works at the comic book store that's owned by Lance. Now, the heroin dealer in Pulp Fiction in L.A., played by Stoltz, Eric Stoltz or whatever.
Yes.
That's Lance.
Lance.
Oh, shit.
I think that's the same character.
Yeah, no, it is.
Of course, the Vega brothers and the Gecko brothers are in that universe as well.
Yeah, I love it.
And then they had Marcellus Wiley, I think is Ving Rhames' name, but they said Marcellus Spider in Reservoir Dogs.
I'm
really you see how much of a fanboy of Tarantino I am
dude.
now.
I love Tarantino's reality. I love when you're watching one of his movies, you go into Quentin Tarantino world and you just let him take you on the fucking ride.
The first 4 are all and also, have you guys ever seen a movie called Killing Zoe?
Yes, that's a great movie. Yes.
Okay, that's in that Band Apart. That's in that whole thing too. And the guy that wrote Pulp Fiction with Tarantino, I forgot his name. He made the Beowulf movie, which was a piece of shit. And he made the Rules of Attraction.
Oh, okay.
What's his name? Bret Easton Ellis novel movie. I can't remember his name, but he wrote Pulp Fiction with Tarantino. And he made Killing Zoe. I don't know if he directed it. He definitely wrote
Roger Avery?
Yes, exactly. That's him.
I got to tell the listener, man, these lists of top 10 Quentin Tarantino movies, rank them. Everyone, don't sleep on True Romance. It's one of my all-time favorite movies of all time.
It's in the top 5.
Yes.
No problem.
Yes.
No question. For written scripts, to me, it's in his top 3.
Yeah. It's an amazing script, directed amazingly by Tony Scott.
That movie is your rapping. It's exactly the same thing.
Yes.
It's an homage to exploitation films, kung fu films, all of those
comic
things.
Books, everything.
And it's like Rug Boy, off air, I said this to Imran.
Yeah.
The reason it's so important to people like us, it's where you turn the nerd, the geek guy into a crime hero.
Yeah.
Yes.
You turn the nerd guy into an Elmore Leonard novel.
It's the geek. True Romance is the geek revenge fantasy.
Exactly.
You
That's why
want
it's
to be
so
Christian
good.
Slater.
And it took a guy like Quentin to write that, I guess.
Yeah. And it's got Balky in it.
It's got an amazing cast. Yeah. Wait, but let's talk about this movie.
Go ahead.
Bronson Pinchot.
I mean, it's got everybody. But Ruggs, you just saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, what's your take on it?
Your mind's probably all fucked up. What's going on?
I'm struggling to form an opinion about it, but it's a long-winded opinion, and I don't know if I could get it all out. But
go for it.
It's a little bit of a rug down, but anyhow.
Hold on.
Here's the rundown.
Quentin Tarantino is a director that basically he's not concerned with the narrative like a traditional person that writes a movie. That it's like Hollywood factory films. That they it has a three act thing and it's structured in a certain way. He's kind of like more into showing you a certain scene a moment that he wants to show you. He doesn't care about the actual movie as a whole as much as like these the producers to try and entertain people, keep people. He's like, fuck it. Like if people are bored for 5 minutes, fine. I want to show you something.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I want to show you my love for film. I want to show you my love for spaghetti western. I want to show you my love for these things. I want to show you my love
Hollywood.
for LA.
Yes. Los
I want to
Angeles,
show
yes.
you. I want to recreate LA and have these long tracking shots of Brad Pitt driving so you can see LA that I've created in the background.
It's funny you say that. I was going to bring up the long driving shots.
He loves that.
Only he can get away with that.
Yes, the long tracking shots.
And he's doing these shots because he's number one, he's recreating shots from other movies that he likes. He number two, he's showing you the beauty and the splendor of all the signs lighting up and all of these things that are so LA.
Yeah.
That when you think about LA, their landmarks are all these signs, these like crazy old school signs. And all of these things like that people would probably find laborious.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck if Joe Idiot that walks in that's used to watching Marvel movies is bored. He's like, he wants to try and show somebody who's into film, who's into Hollywood, like what it's all about.
That's why I loved it. What did you guys, real quick, specifically, what did you guys think of the Bruce Lee fight?
I didn't like that much.
Really?
Because
why not? I love that scene.
Because I feel like Bruce Lee is like such an icon, and that knocked him down a little bit.
And you saw his daughter was writing an article about that came out this week.
I thought I read somewhere that something like that actually there was a story that kind of happened.
Yeah.
And that's what he was pulling from.
But he could have probably filmed it in a more ambiguous way but it was obvious, like, that Brad Pitt was going to kick his ass.
True.
Like, there was no way.
From a writing and filmmaking standpoint, I agree with you on that one.
Like, I would have given Bruce Lee a couple of good ones. Just so he could have,
maybe he got hit once or something, like, pretty good.
Because Brad Pitt is like fucking superhero mode in that movie.
True. Also, there's one other thing that really stood out to me in the film that I have to bring up, or I might forget. When they talk about Rick, when he goes
Dalton. Yes.
Rick Dalton, when he goes to Italy, and then he's doing the spaghetti westerns with Telly Savalas and all that.
Yes.
But then he does like a Giallo movie. He does like I don't know, they call it in Italy. They were like these crime movies called Poliosteteca or something.
Wow.
Revolver is the most famous one.
Okay.
And there's Leo there when he jumps over the bridge in the car. That's supposed to be one of those.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the James Bond, like Austin Powers
exactly. They're all derivative of that. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of the Italian films, which is weird because I should, but like, I haven't watched a lot of Sergio Leone. I haven't watched a lot of that stuff.
I have watched a lot, and what's his name? There was a crazy reference in the movie where when Leo's in the dressing room with the Spider-Man guy, the dude with the white hair. And he's telling him to put the mustache, glue it to his face. He's like, I want it to be like Zapata. Do you guys know what Zapata is? It's like a spaghetti western series. There was at least 3 films. There's probably like 5 or 10 that I don't know about, but I've seen the first 3. And it's Yul Brynner playing some crazy rifle fighter.
Oh, fucking Yul Brynner. I
wouldn't have known that. Only Mic Ripz has that kind
I'm
of
insane with the
acumen.
movies.
Yeah. But that's good that we're talking about this with a person who's seen spaghetti westerns.
Exactly. No, I'm pretty familiar with the stuff that Tarantino was influenced by, but I still think his work... Actually, I have a question for you guys. Did you see The Hateful Eight?
Yeah.
You know what? That's the one I actually have not seen.
Boy, what did you think of that?
I don't remember it that well, to be honest with you, because I really have a bad memory.
Okay.
So... if I see something and I don't watch it more than once, it's hard for me to remember.
Gotcha.
But I remember watching and going, okay, what's this all about? It felt like almost like a Coen Brothers movie.
Yes, it's very much like that.
Yeah. So it was like Like a Coen Brothers movie, when you go, you know you're going to get a lot of dialogue.
Exactly,
And
that's why I liked it. I appreciated it, but I don't expect, any, like, forget us, because we can kind of see, you said Coen Brothers, like, if a regular person goes to see that, they're going to be like, fuck Quentin Tarantino.
Well, and this movie...
Like this guy's overrated, he's shit.
It's asking a lot. Same with Coen Brothers. It asks a lot of patience from the viewer. But the payoff is there, and the slow burn of this, I thought was really good.
It's all about the filmmaking. It's the choices that you make when you make a film.
Yeah.
Now, The Hateful Eight was more of a talky film, and
I was surprised that this was a comedy. This is a comedy. It's a Quentin Tarantino comedy.
I gotta say, Leo killed it, and he's really funny. And I've never seen him play a role where he was doing straight up trying to be funny comedy shit.
This allegory in this film is great because of how they played it. Because it shows you have Leo, you have Brad Pitt. Like, these are two movie stars that's a dying breed.
Yeah.
And this movie's about the old school 60s and late 50s and early 60s, how it was kind of being passed over onto a new era.
Yeah.
Where TV was where you went to die as an actor.
Yep.
Like you're a movie star and then you kind of fade away. And this is what's happening to actual filmmaking. It's fading away in favor of franchise filmmaking, sequels.
Yes.
Event filmmaking, capitalizing on whatever, person that needs to be represented. And then let's make a whole movie about an event about that, even if the movie sucks.
Yeah. That's all we have now.
Yeah. So this is basically the perfect movie for this time, even though it's not his best movie. It's perfect for this moment in time because it's telling everyone, all right, this is what these characters were feeling when their careers were dying and having to be handed over to this new era. And these are and it's kind of like an allegory because Brad Pitt and DiCaprio are these movie stars, and DiCaprio's only 40.
Yeah.
And he's already
done.
in an era where being a movie star, it doesn't matter as long as you have a comic book name attached to something or IP attached to something.
Still big star. These guys are
heavy, bro.
They're at the top of their game. And you can also see the Rick Dalton character as kind of a meta commentary on Quentin himself. Kind of as he's putting himself like, am I still relevant?
Screenwriter, that doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah. No, but dude, let's talk about these characters. I mean,
there's no reason for stuntmen anymore.
No, that's true.
CG.
That's also true. So Leo plays Rick Dalton.
It's meta. It's very meta.
This performance of Rick Dalton, this insecure crybaby, the way that Leo DiCaprio plays it so straight is so fucking dead on and perfect. And that's where a lot of the comedy comes from, is that he just he's slightly bipolar, which I found interesting. He has a little bit of like a stutter or like a tick. Did you notice that?
They never got into that, but it's there.
I was like, wow, he's got a little stutter. I thought that was very brave.
There's a couple of things that happened in this movie that I thought that he kind of did in a poor fashion. Like, number one was never resolving whether Brad Pitt killed his wife or not.
Oh, that was interesting, yes.
I don't know if he definitely did it on purpose. Yeah. He wants you to question it.
Well, the point is everybody thinks that he's a killer also. Like, it's just the reputation.
But it would be cool to know.
Yeah.
That is the what's in the briefcase, I think, for this movie.
What's in the box? Yeah.
And
the briefcase from Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
So Quentin Tarantino always gives you like that one thing that leaves that you don't know what the fuck it played out.
Yep.
Another thing that he did that I didn't like was the exposition dump that was done by the guy at the pool. It was supposed to be, what's his name?
It was, what's his name? When they did the whole thing of him in Italy.
Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen,
right.
yeah.
Steve McQueen tells you who everybody is.
I was going to say, though, Damian Lewis looks so much like Steve McQueen back then.
Yeah, he does.
My God.
I mean, I love that this is, this time you're seeing Quentin use actual historical figures, like real people. Like, he's never done this before. You have Squeaky Fromm and George Spahn, Bruce Lee, Steve McQueen. They're all in here. Jay Sebring, Sharon Tate.
Yeah. Now, another thing with the Sharon Tate thing, I think that a lot of people were also disappointed that it was a bait and switch.
A little bit.
Like people thought this was going to be about the Manson murders and Sharon Tate, and he did what the Inglourious Bastards and Django
revisionist history.
He took something and revised history to give it a happy ending. Hitler gets killed and a slave destroys the master and his whole entire plantation.
Did you notice at the end they don't show Sharon Tate's face? Spoiler alert! When Rick rolls up and remember they finally invite Rick to their house, Emil Hirsch, and brings him up, and then. I did notice that. It stuck out to me that when it's an aerial view where, they say hi to Rick and then they go in the house, they didn't want to show Sharon Tate's face after the fake thing that happened with Cliff and Rick.
That's a good point.
Because that might have been, traumatic for, the family and whatnot.
Oh, I see. Well, let's get to that. For the listener maybe hasn't seen, we're going to spoil this. This thing, it's revisionist history, and a lot of the tension for me came from, if you know the Manson family and you know about Spawn Ranch and you know about the murders of Sharon Tate, you were kind of like, okay, this is going to happen. And then time jumps. She's pregnant. You're like, oh, shit, it's going down. And the genius of Tarantino to just drop these two dudes one house over to just interfere. And the last scene where Cliff and Rick kill the fucking Manson kids. Oh, my God. Shit. Up until then, it's this chill, laid-back, kind of dreamy, intoxicating movie.
And that scene is is one of the best Tarantino scenes ever.
Holy shit. Cliff Booth has just smoked a cigarette laced with LSD. He is tripping balls.
And the tension in that was fucking amazing.
It was great. I love before when Rick comes out with the pitcher of margaritas and he's like, get this mechanical asshole off of my street. He's just, they're like, was that Rick Dalton? Did we just get yelled at by Rick Dalton? And instead of going to Sharon Tate's house, instead of following Charlie's orders, they go in there and the fucking dog, Brandy, the dog, amazing.
MVP.
That was
MVP.
really crazy.
All you had to do is, and the fucking dog's on him and the dog's off. And then the flamethrower comes back. Unbelievable.
That was the coolest part. I was right there, the flamethrower's coming out.
But it's
that was some fucking legit. That was legit.
It was violent and graphic. Yeah. He's slamming this girl's face into the phone on the wall.
That's what makes me think he killed his wife.
He probably did. But you got to imagine.
I can't believe they even let Tarantino get away with that.
Right?
Like letting Brad Pitt smash the girl's head.
Hits him. He slams her face into the phone and then keeps slamming her face into the thing that hangs that you hang the phone poster on.
Yeah. Oh, yes. No, but you got to remember, he's tripping his balls off. So he's probably seeing colors and stars and all this.
He thought it was an animal.
Yes. He's just fucking freaking out. And it's wow. The whole theater was howling.
Oh my God.
It was so unexpectedly violent. Everyone was like, holy shit, what the fuck?
There was some fucking great. Listen, this movie, it makes you wait for it, but when it delivers, it really can change your whole perspective on the movie.
Which is why the 2 hours of just slow burn hanging out with Cliff and Rick. I mean, I love even the scene where they're sitting around watching the show.
What about when
he's like, oh, that's a great shot. Oh, I can't wait. And they're drinking beers, and they're just like, this is what we would do.
That guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
And Leo comes out with the shotgun in the back of the pickup,
he jumps over and he's like, yo, you look great. But it's kind of like what you would do with your buddies sitting around watching a TV show.
What about that scene at the ranch?
I liked
the hills
Pitt's
have
part,
eyes.
but I didn't. It was unnecessary, and a regular studio, if it's not Quentin Tarantino, would have
cut all that.
Exactly, they would have said this is not going in the movie.
I loved it. I mean, Brad Pitt really he reminds me of a young Robert Redford in this a lot. I got that vibe.
Interesting. He looks like him.
But I love how he's a counter to Rick. He is calm. He's cool. He's the coolest he's ever been. Does not give a fuck. Whereas Rick is so serious about the scene and being in a movie. Brad's fine with just being. Cliff is fine with just driving him around, being his little errand boy and fixing shit for him. He's cool with it.
While it's on my mind, I don't mind to get off Brad Pitt, but does it bother you that scene where DiCaprio was envisioning himself in a film?
The Steve McQueen shit, The Great Escape.
Yeah. Oh, that was.
I thought that was weird.
I liked it, but I don't know. I don't expect people to like it. You know.
See,
what I'm saying?
I read that as he tested for that. That was his audition, and he didn't get it, or he was. I don't know. I didn't read that as a fantasy.
Well, they did these two things where, on one hand, they put him in a movie.
Yeah,
it's a bookend.
Yeah,
so they put DiCaprio in a movie that he wasn't in.
Yeah.
and it created a fantasy.
Yeah.
And then when Sharon Tate goes to the movies, you actually see the real Sharon Tate.
Yes,
and I think that Quentin Tarantino wanted to celebrate Sharon Tate and actually let everyone see her in a role that hasn't seen her in a role.
At first, I thought they had put her in the movie, but then I'm like, this is really the movie. She's watching the real Sharon Tate. But this scene actually happened. I think there's a story where she goes to watch the Wreckers or the Homewreckers, whatever it's called. But he pulls a lot of things from actual history and puts them in there, and also play like Lancer. That whole Lancer scene. The Lancer was a real show. Also, Timothy Olyphant plays James Stacy. He was an actual actor. But I loved how he was showing us the movie as it was being made, but then we were on set at the same time. But you were just following the camera shot, and then he would forget his line, and then he beat himself up in the trailer, which was amazing. That little girl, Julia Butters, she was amazing.
Oh, she killed it.
What an amazing performance from this little girl out of nowhere. But I, a lot of people were mad that Margot Robbie didn't have a lot to do, but clearly it was the idea of Sharon Tate, what she represented. What he was interested in.
What was Quentin going for with Margot Robbie?
She represented the height of Hollywood. She represented where Rick Dalton wanted to go, and the irony that he was next door to Roman Polanski, and his career is fading, and he's this close to like having a comeback and being in a big movie. This script also, apparently, I did not know Hateful Eight. The script was leaked.
Yeah, that's why they actually made Hateful Eight. He wasn't even going to make that.
Yeah, he was mad. This time, apparently, this script was kept in a safe. Only the people who needed to know read it, and nobody knew the ending until like right before they were going to shoot it. Like nobody knew how he was going to deal with that, how he was going to twist it, and the fucking ending is one of the best endings of a Quentin Tarantino movie. I also don't think it's his strongest film. I love Pulp Fiction.
What do you think of the foot fetish?
What is with the dirty feet all the time? He loves showing dirty feet.
That's Quentin's thing.
You said you don't think it's his best. Like, I want to know, between us three and what you guys think, what do you think is his best movie and what's close to the top?
Well, my favorites are always going to be Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, The Kill Bills. Okay. And then I may put this movie right after that.
But what about, I'm talking about his scripts, by the way. Sorry.
Scripts.
Yeah,
then
let's go by, because he created all that stuff. Even if, okay, spoiler alert, by the way, too, about True Romance. Quentin had it ending where Clarence gets popped in the head and he's dead. Tony Scott was like, we're not doing that.
I saw that deleted scene. I think they shot it. Yes.
Yes. And Tony Scott was like, we're not doing that. That doesn't make sense for the story you built here.
Yeah. And in the movie, there's a great moment where you think he's dead.
Exactly.
And
Tony Scott's ending is better than Quentin, what he wrote.
Tony Scott changed that, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And Quentin was actually, also, before we go into the final part of this and talking about what's his best, of course, Natural Born Killers is quote unquote his, but I don't even include that even in that IG post I made asking what people think is his best, because it just says story Quentin Tarantino. Oliver, what's his name?
Oliver Stone.
He changed it so much, it's not a Tarantino thing
I love that movie too.
I do too, but it's not. Again, back to Iron Man, Downey in that doing the Australian.
Yeah, imagine
accent.
that movie. Imagine that movie came out now.
Oh my god!
No possible way it's getting greenlit.
This is why the early 90s.
That was like an event movie.
Yes.
We all went to go see it. Like everybody was talking about. I'm a little younger
again. I begged my dad to bring me, and he was like, "Absolutely not."
Oh, at the time, it was like so shocking and so violent. 1994, 93, the early 90s movies were amazing.
What did that mean to you when you saw that movie, Imran, in the theater?
Natural Born Killers or Pulp Fiction?
Natural Born Killers.
I mean,
one of the most violent and sick movies that was out at the time.
It was like a commentary on MTV, on our fascination with serial killers, on reality television, a little early reality, like Cops,
and how like salacious it was, and how they used
the
these
celebrity
things to get ratings.
Yep, and because then you had Downey being
so
like
that's what I came away with.
Yep.
I was like, they were trying to tell people that if they see this movie, it's going to glorify violence, and people are going to just start becoming Mickey and Mallory.
It's a lot deeper than that.
And maybe if you're fucking got like 3 IQ points, maybe you'll do that. But if you're a person with a brain in your head, and fuck those people if they're that dumb.
It's clearly a commentary.
These are the dumb people we need to get rid of. But a normal person wouldn't go into that movie and see, like, it's written smartly enough, or it's done smartly enough that you would know that it's about people making money off of other people's tragedy.
And celebrity by killing. But dude, let me tell you something. In a sea of right now franchises, remakes, reboots, sequels, that for Tarantino to put this movie out, a type of movie that rarely gets made anymore, a movie that a lot of people are going to be like, that was fucking boring. They're not going to get this. It was so fucking refreshing to just hang out in Tarantino land for 2.5 hours.
1,000%.
I loved it.
It is boring in parts.
Yeah.
It does have some things that could be better. It's not his best film.
But you have a vision from a singular person.
For right now, the time that it came out.
But it also feels like it could have been made in the 60s as well as now.
But it's the perfect film for this moment in time.
Yes, it is.
It's a commentary on right now.
So on
it's
that
a commentary.
note, what do you guys think? Imran, what's your number one of this guy? Script? Yes.
Oh, if you're going to go...
He created the characters. I want to go by script, not necessarily...
I see. Okay, script-wise, fuck. I got to put Pulp Fiction and then True Romance. Even though True Romance came out before. True Romance he wrote between Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction.
Yes. So True Romance is the first script he wrote. There's a film out from '88 called My Friend's Birthday, which basically is True Romance.
And he brought it back and fleshed it out,
Yeah.
huh? So I'm going to say script-wise, I don't know, still, Reservoir Dogs, True Romance, Pulp Fiction, the Kill Bills, From Dusk Till Dawn is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's so hard, but then this movie, not so much script-wise, but just, to me, it excels more in the mood, in the performances, in the set design, the production, the slow burn, and then the crazy fucking explosion of graphic violence that you're just waiting for.
Wow. I'm going to say Pulp Fiction is number one for me, even though a lot of people disagree. I just think that when I saw it, I never saw anything like that before. I've never heard a script like that before. I've never seen characters talk like that before. In the extended amount that they were. And I'm talking about, yes, there's plenty of exploitation films that had stuff like that, but not in a major release.
Yeah.
Not in an A1 major studio release. Did anybody have the fucking balls?
With big stars
until
in
fucking Miramax put that shit out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with that as my first because it just broke so much. It just broke so much ground in every single direction.
It changed a lot of things moving forward.
True Romance is like the sleeper one no one really knows about. That's a movie that I fucking love. And I can watch it 1,000 times. I can recite line by
we know
line.
every line. I'm sure Mike Ripz does too. I could do every line of that fucking movie easily.
And that's a great film. I also think that the Kill Bill movies are great. And I remember I saw the Kill Bill and I immediately wanted to run back and see it a second time.
There you go.
That's a good
I was like, I'm like, I want to see this again. I'm like, I love the music. I loved everything about it.
Do you want to see Once Upon a Time again? I kind of do. I think a lot of this movies benefit from a second viewing. Yeah.
I need to watch it quite a few more times before I have a good take on it.
I think that Kill Bill and Inglourious Bastards are his most digestible films. I think, and then the Django Unchained is coming up there.
The D is silent.
Yeah. Django.
It's just Django, like the great gypsy guitar player.
Again, that comes from a Marco Nero film. Django is an old spaghetti western character.
But man, Mike Ripz knows his fucking spaghetti westerns.
What say you, Mike Ripz?
I would say number one, I'm going to go Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
I could go back and forth and do a 2-hour podcast on why I say that.
We should do that one of these days because I would be down for that.
But I'll say this line. I read a review of it a long time ago, and they said this is an action-adventure movie that's almost 2 hours of just dialogue.
Yeah. Stories and fucking jokes and dialogue, and it's so good.
And that sums it up for me.
Yeah.
I would have to say the top three for me are definitely Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and True Romance. I love True Romance because of what I mentioned earlier about how it's like it's like the geek turning into a crime movie.
Yep.
Which, it's like a Kevin Smith movie if it turned into a crime movie.
Yep,
but with unbelievable writing.
And that Gandolfini fight.
Oh God,
James
that
Gandolfini.
made James Gandolfini. That created Tony Soprano.
Pre-Tony Soprano, you have James Gandolfini in an incredible role.
How many great scenes is that movie?
Dude,
The Dennis Hopper.
Christopher Walken.
The Dennis Hopper one.
You're Sicilian, huh?
Drexel.
I read a lot.
Drexel, of
yes,
course.
Gary
Drexel.
Oldman, almost
So
unrecognizable.
crazy.
Val Kilmer as Elvis, telling him to shoot the fucking pimp.
But I would also
love
say
this
my
movie.
thing with Pulp Fiction, that one means a lot to me. I'll tell you there's one thing that I don't like about it, and I'll share that after I tell you what I love about it. It's called Pulp Fiction because it's supposed to be an old 1940s Black Mask magazine, basically.
Yep.
4 different stories. Intertwining it is Quentin.
Yep.
Non-linear, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's called Pulp Fiction because it's like an old 1940s or maybe 30s.
They were books called Pulp Fiction.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
These are the magazines. Black Mask is probably the one that comes to mind. Weird Tales, of course, had Robert E. Howard and H.P. Lovecraft and all that kind of stuff in it. But it's the same idea. It was like 4 to 5 different stories in a magazine. So I love it. One thing that makes me put Pulp Fiction 3, one scene that breaks the fourth wall and is just bad, and I don't know why he did it. But it went to other scenes in later movies. Death Proof is his worst movie, by the way. I'll say that.
Okay.
You know when Uma Thurman, when they pull up to Jackrabbit Flats or whatever, and she does "Don't be a square,"
And she
it
draws
makes
the
a
dotted
square.
line. Yes.
Broke the fourth wall. Stupid. I don't know why it's in there.
That is a weird, it's cartoony, right? It's
The film would be number 1 without that.
wow,
maybe,
it
for
never
me.
bothered me. I thought it was weird. I was like, why is the lines coming?
That's Quentin Tarantino swinging his balls.
Yes, that's why I don't like it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
he's showing off a little
Because
too
it's
much.
like you're going into you're just exactly showing off. Good point.
I liken that to in Once Upon a Time. What I didn't like was the fucking narrator all of a sudden has to like catch you up after the time jump. I was like, who
didn't? That's
who's this
points
narrator?
minus for me too. By the
He's
way.
never had a fucking
I
narrator.
also agree. I like to see it. There's those with the exposition dumps. That, see, like that's the thing. You spend so much time on people driving, and so much time on close-ups of people's
And the
feet.
music is great though. I
So,
love the
but,
'60s
like,
music.
We could. There's probably a cut of the movie where you see more of that stuff, and I'm curious to why because I seen stuff in the trailers that are not in the movie. Obviously,
I thought there would be a reveal that the narrator we'd find out who it was.
It was Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
it was Kurt
Randy.
Russell. It was Randy. Oh, okay. It was that guy. I see.
Yeah.
But I agree
And
with
it
Rug
was
Boy
weird.
completely with the exposition dump because it's like no one else is getting away with that just randomly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
by the way, Tarantino's so sick in his brain, he probably wrote out that whole thing, and the studio was like, okay,
We can't do all this.
you can't make 2 movies out of 1 here.
I heard that he wrote about 10 episodes of the TV show with Rick Dalton.
Holy
Bounty Law.
shit, that's
like
sick.
it exists. Like he has it all scripted out. He's how crazy he is.
Wow.
Oh, so where would you put Once Upon a Time in your ranking, Mike?
I want to put it high, but I dedefinitely have to watch it again. Again, like I said, when I watched Django, I was like, this is the best besides, what's it called? Pulp and Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
But now I like this more than Django at the moment. Django is Tarantino's version of a Marvel movie. It's his superhero movie.
That's a good call. Yeah. And in this one, he gets to indulge in the Western. He gets to indulge in Hollywood and stuff he loves.
When he does the snappy dialogue about pop culture, he's at his strongest moment.
Well, but see, I think this is him maturing because if you notice the early movies, True Romance, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, this is what you got. You have snappy, culturally relevant dialogue that everyone wants to quote. The camera is always moving. Shit is always happening. Things are intertwining. And now this one is just fucking so like laid back and talking. He just wants to hang
He's
out.
also, he's
getting older.
like pushing 60 now.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you can
he's getting
see
older. But I read some really cool things. Like he actually used 8mm black and white film in some of this. He used 35mm black and white film for the
That's
opening
a deciding
scenes.
factor for him, according to him. He says that, what's it called? Once it goes full digital, he's not making films anymore.
He's done. Oh, that's it. That's interesting.
That's probably why he
as I
says
said,
one more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so transitional. I don't know if it's his best film, but I think any Tarantino film, even if it's his shittiest film, still better than I would say 95%.
Absolutely. I mean, there's nobody else is giving us stuff like this. Nobody else has the balls to do this right now.
Because it's just different. It's just different, and there's something to say. There are observations. Like, I learn about Quentin Tarantino, even the fucking sick shit that he's into, like Feet.
Yes.
Like, by watching his
Good
movie,
point.
I learn what he's about. Like, I get to know the director. I know that, like, the director's supposed to be transparent. You're not supposed to notice that he's there, but that's not what I go to a Tarantino film for.
Yep.
I go because this guy is this genius, and I want to understand him.
Tarantino's the biggest star on screen, and he's not there.
Yeah. So he's this looming presence.
But it's his vision, yeah.
It's his vision, and you get that. And there's like, as I said, there's probably like 10 or 12 directors we could say that about that are still making movies right now.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of new guys coming up, like Villeneuve and the guy that did
Nicholas Winding Refn.
Yeah,
Midsommar. By the way, I haven't seen Midsommar. I saw Hereditary and liked it a lot. A lot of people that watch Midsommar didn't fuck with it.
I heard a lot of people saying this is the fucking scariest thing I've ever seen.
Really? I gotta watch
yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
I've heard people hate it.
Oh, really?
I've heard people hate a lot of things, but like,
one thing I want to
Aronofsky's
recommend.
new film, Mother, people didn't like, whatever.
I want to recommend is what's it called? Too Old to Die Young on Amazon.
Oh, yes.
That's Nicholas Winding Refn's TV show, which the episodes, some of them are an hour and 45 minutes. The last episode's a half hour.
His movies seem to be like very long-winded too, like Drive.
Yeah, I was going to say, I read the book of Drive too, by the way, and it was perfect, the film of it, but it's weird to see a guy that's such a visionary director do somebody else's work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what was the other one that he did with Only God Forgives or something?
Yeah, Only God Forgives, which I loved. Gosling, of course. And it was in Thailand, and he fights like the police chief there.
Yeah, but there's literally like just nothing going on.
Dialogue in that
Dude,
movie.
this Too Old to Die Young just came out, miniseries. Listen to this synopsis. Los Angeles County Sheriff's Deputy Martin Jones' life is blown apart in one tragic night, and he is forced into a deadly underground of cartel soldiers, Yakuza assassins, and mysterious vigilantes as his past sins close in on him.
Oh, shit.
Sounds amazing.
I'm going to check it out.
It's
on Mic Ripz recommendation.
hard. There's mad, slow, dragging scenes, but...
Oh, really?
Well, I know him. I know his direction, so I know what to expect.
got it then.
10-episode season, but you're right that the lengths are all over the place.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of Fargo when it was a series?
I only liked the movie. I only seen the movie. I never watched a show, but again, people that like that shit, the Winding Refn thing, they loved Fargo too.
Right. I think that the show was fun. It was like a work of art.
I know a lot of people say they love
recommend
it. Dude, I haven't even been watching movies at the level that I'd like to.
There's too much shit out there right
exactly.
now. Exactly.
That's why I stay with the books, because it's easy.
So let me ask you guys this. Give me a number rating out of 10. What would you give this movie?
I'd say a 7.
I was going to say 7, but I'll do 7.5 because I really did love it.
I'm going to go 8.
Yeah.
I'll give it a solid 8.
I'm not rating it for just me. I'm rating it for everybody who might go see it.
I was going to say, I need to watch it a few more times for sure.
I loved Brad Pitt so much in this movie
he stole the show.
I would have watched another movie.
He reminded me of the
character.
stoner character from True Romance a little bit in this. He had the same.
Oh my god, that's him. That's him. Oh my god. His name is Cliff. Holy shit.
Man.
Holy
that's
shit.
Hold on. It's the same guy.
Hold on. Oh my god, his name's Cliff. Hold on.
True Romance?
Dude, we just have an epiphany on the fucking podcast.
Are you? Hold
on. I'm IMDb'ing this shit right now.
Fucking
I swear to God, his name's Cliff. His name's Cliff.
Fucking kill you, man.
Hold on. Yeah, exactly. I'll fucking kill you, man.
Cleaning products. And he's got the fucking...
well, they were here.
Floyd.
Now they're over
His name is Floyd.
Floyd. Dick's roommate. Dick Ritchie. Hi, I'm Dick.
Yeah, Dick Ritchie was
I love Dick Ritchie's... Michael Rappaport. Dick Ritchie's audition for T.J. Hooker is amazing.
It's amazing.
Because
it's so brilliant.
Get him. Shoot him. Get him.
Yo, but I love y'all, but I got a flash, dude. I'm dying over here.
All right. No, look, this is a great place to end the show. Mic Ripz, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I actually didn't get completely hammered on this one. So
let me give you a chance to plug all your shit. Give the listener your plugs. What do you want them to do?
Just at Mic Ripz on all social media. Google Mic Ripz. Also, I have another new short story. Check out Heel Turn. It's in the Facebook.
It's in the Jock and Nerd Nation?
Exactly. And I'm going to post a new one tomorrow morning. I was trying to go through that earlier today. But yeah, new short story is going to be in the Jock and Nerd. And it's going to be on my blog on Tumblr. At Mic Ripz everywhere. On also this album, the Dug Out the Dirt 2 is on all digital platforms. So check that out.
You can stream it. You can buy it. It's on Bandcamp. I will
support Mic Ripz.
Support Mic Ripz.
He's a one-of-a-kind dude. There he is.
The man is as original as Quentin Tarantino, dude. You're inspired by him, influenced by him, and we love you. Listeners, stay tuned until after the closing music. I will put a whole Mic Ripz song at the end of this episode. Rug Boy, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Really Rug Boy. And that's basically it.
Show notes for this episode will be at jockandnerd.com/287. That's where you're going to find links to everything Mic Ripz, everything we talked about, how to get in touch, how to subscribe for free. And of course, listener, if you enjoy the show, tell a friend, spread the geekery. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Thank you guys one more time, real quick. I appreciate y'all looking out. You guys are number one for me.
Dude,
all right, man. Thanks for being
Mic Ripz is the best, and we'll peep you next week, listener.
My balls was hot. Somebody touch my spaghetti.
Give him a Mic Ripz, yeah.
There it is.
Nerd. Yo, I'm focused, finish opponents, victory flawless, marauders, boxing with twin infinity gauntlets, swordsman, decapitated all of your horsemen at the auction, see my portrait painted in porcelain, break through with bars to beat down a break loop, saber tooth, tear a hole in your spacesuit, Mad Hatter, my mallet smashing your grapefruit, strange brew, fuck puppets publishing fake news, not even half human lab suited rap mutant, worse than Rasputin, shooting like Vlad Putin, gruesome and foolish with garbage pail etiquette, sex machine with a 6-shooter metal dick, heretic wingspan of vampire bats, got a chainsaw for a hand like I'm Ash, running up in a bank screaming hand me the cash, in a black suit and an ex-president's mask, ironclad fisticuffs when it'll break a brick to dust, spaceship's a little fucked, picked it up from Elon Musk, infrared pistol tucked, assassinated Eon Flux, demon scum on the run, can't believe what we become, raw breed creep, fuck the president of Veep, you're obsolete, the monsters just made it to Maple Street, strange and crazy as James Delaney, my family hates me, wild untamed beast, carnivorous cage freak, no game, I'm waist deep, a rose out of trash sheet, wipe my ass with your rap sheet, screaming yo Joe, starting riots in the Cobra prison, I'm shining silver surfer through the solar system, star of the #1 rated show on Mojo Vision, feeding for the microphone, it's like I got a flow addiction.
Amazing. Not much of a lyricist, apparently.
In a thick fox, spit bars from a grimoire, mysterious and dark, hard-boiled noir, bizarre for sure, Jafar won't get far, once I slice through his flying carpet with a scimitar, while as Ric Flair about to do another rail, highest level on the evolutionary scale, most of these millennials is pussy and they're frail, I hope all you 40 revolutionaries fail, I'm on that shaft flow, macking in mad gold, till I'm stage diving naked at a local rap show, salute your shorts, see him swinging from the flagpole, asshole sticking dick in the center of black holes, like fuck the universe, let mutants consume the earth to absurd computer nerds worshiping Lucifer, it's all a blur, and I like it that way, honestly it's only how I make it through the day.